To begin, let's make our way down to the floor. Now, before we get started, it's important to note that the shins can be extremely tender, very, very tender when foam rolling. If you've ever been diagnosed with shin splints, professionally, not just you had an inkling, but you actually have been diagnosed with them, definitely consult your physician before doing this. I do not recommend it if you have had diagnosed shin splints in the past. Otherwise, know that it's perfectly normal to feel some discomfort during this one, especially if it's your first time paying any attention to your shins. So don't give up. This is something that you'll need to repeat a number of times before you feel even kind of comfortable doing it, but we'll get through this together. And I'll show you multiple modifications so that you can find the technique that feels best for you and allows you to work through your current level of tightness with your current level of fitness. So in a crouching position, we're gonna place our foam roller beneath our shins and the floor. So to keep the intensity to a minimum, you can place your hands on your foam roller to add your support of your upper body, keeping you from putting a lot of body weight pressure and distributing all of it onto your shins. And you want to stay kind of fairly upright, especially if this is your first time. So you can start moving your roller either towards your ankles or towards your knee. Avoid rolling past your ankles into the kind of crevice there and beyond onto your foot. And same with where your knees kind of naturally start to bend. We want to stay in between those two spots. Although you do have a little extra leeway on this one because you're not really in a position where your joints are going to get necessarily injured if you roll over them, just because of the way that our body is positioned at the moment. So don't be as concerned about that for this one. I typically start to find more tension in my ankles. So I like to start by working up towards my knees where I know that it'll be a little less intense before I move down to those really, really tender areas. So as you feel more comfortable, or if you'd like to increase the pressure, you can start to lean forward and put your hands now onto the floor rather than being more upright on your foam roller here. So this will immediately intensify that foam rolling on your shins. And already I can feel sensations just radiating all the way down into my feet just by moving my body weight forward. And this is with my toes still on the ground, but you can even pick your toes up off the ground and you're even more suspended at this point, which for me today, this really, it might be too much. I've been running and my shins are quite tight, so I am going to keep my toes down at the moment. But when you do find those tight spots like I am, just remember to hang out there. I get a lot of tingling, a lot of numbness when I'm working on my shins particularly, which indicates to me that these are very, very tight. I don't give them enough love. I don't give them enough attention. So I'll just kind of pause there, take some deep breaths. Sometimes I need to sit back up a little bit or even remove my shins from the foam roller because it's just too intense. And I wait for those sensations to subside before I get back into it. So it's okay if you feel like you need to move off of an area. It's the same thing that happens sometimes when you're getting a massage. You know, it's good to give the tense area a break so that the tissues can kind of resettle and relax and be more responsive to what you're doing. Constant pressure on a problem area doesn't always equal healing or faster results. So just keep that in mind, don't overdo it. And as a side note, if you want to, you can also work just one shin at a time. So you can kind of bring one foot off to the side here and just focus on one side, if that makes it easier for you. Sometimes I really need to do it this way personally. So let's talk a little bit about this complex area that we're working on. The shin area is integral to keeping us moving, and it deserves a lot more respect and attention than it gets. So major muscles on the front area of the lower leg, which we refer to as the shin, include the tibialis anterior, the extensor digitorum longus, the extensor hallucis longus, and the fibularis tertius. A lot of different muscles in there. It's not just one big muscle called the shin. So if we move more laterally, which you can do by rotating your weight a little bit to the outer side of either shin, left or right, you can target more your fibularis longus and fibularis brevis muscles, which are a couple more that are in the shin. So all 6 of these muscles have different attachments to different bones of the foot, whether that's along your toes, around to the bottom of your foot, or even on the sides of your feet. So as you can imagine, tightness in these muscles can contribute to varying foot pains. And on top of foot pains, they can also have an impact on just injuries that you might get to the lower legs and feet. So I have no doubt in my mind that after foam rolling your shins, even just this one time, you'll be able to feel a difference throughout your lower leg area. And again, if this area is one of the more painful ones for you, like it is for me, that's a clear indication that you're tight here and your body really needs this. I'm just moving to the outside because I feel it more on the outside at the moment, taking some breaths. So really indulge yourself in this treatment. Come back to this video as often as you need to. And give yourself that time so that you can get to a point where rolling with all your body weight on both of your shins isn't just fire and brimstone and pins and needles. You get to a point, even in this one session, I've still got a spot here I can feel on the right side now that really, whew, I'm feeling it. But once you really give that love and attention to those spots, I can absolutely assure you that you will feel so different in your shins. They'll feel freer. Your feet will feel freer. You'll just be ready to hop and skip and jump around. So I hope that you enjoyed this one. Great work foam rolling your shins. And remember, take that extra time if you need it. There's no such thing as going too slow with foam.